The Hermes Bolide, is it worth it? Hello everyone, welcome back to another mommy review where I review all things for the love of. Today I want to check out the Hermes Bolide bag. Now before I get started, if you like the content on the channel, please consider giving this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you so much for considering, and on with the video. Now, Hermes Bolide is not one of the signature bags that everybody knows about, I find, compared to the Birkin as well as the Kelly, but it's definitely one with a lot of heritage related to it. But there are certainly a lot of other luxury fashion houses that carry something similar in terms of silhouette. So today I want to go a little bit over the Hermes Bolide, is it worth it, as well as comparing into what are some affordable alternatives out there, including the Louis Vuitton Alma BB as well as the Coach Rebel. So let's get started. So the Hermes Bolide bag, I believe, originally was designed for traveling when automobiles first came out. It continues to be a pretty popular bag. It is not a quota bag from Hermes, but I do think some of the colors are a little bit harder to get a hold of. It is available in many different sizes with a removable shoulder strap, lock, and key, except for the mini size. That has a top zip closure, which adds some added security. But overall, I do find that this bag has a very timeless appeal to it. In terms of history for the bag, it came out in 1923. Initially, the bag was called Le Sac pour l'Auto. It literally means comet, inspired by the nickname of sports cars. It features this round dome shape, as you can see here, this dome shape oval, and it has a leather patch on it, which is signature for the Hermes Bolide. Personally, I'm not in love with the circular leather patch or plaque on it, so I'm pretty happy without it. The bag does come in two different styles, one that is a bit more rigid and some that are a little bit more soft leather. So I think the soft leather is great to be a little bit more casual, but personally I think I prefer the more rigid leather version because it'll keep a shape better. For the Hermes Bolide, it does come in 4 different sizes. There's the 27 centimeters, 31 centimeters, 35 centimeters, as well as the 45 centimeters. I believe out of all of the bags, the one that's more popular is around either 21 or 31 centimeters. But I heard that the 45 centimeter larger one is really great for traveling. Even though it's not a quota bag, it's still not a cheap bag in general. It does sell out very quickly online. As of right now, I believe the Bolide in the 25 in Epson is around $6,850. In Canva, I think it's around $7,150. And of course, you can check out, there is also the mini version as well. Looking at the secondhand market, you can see this one is the largest one, is 45. It's priced at $3,503 in the pre-love market. But this one you can see is not as structured. It's softer leather. They also have this one, the Hermes Bolide in the 25, which is one that's a little bit more popular because it's smaller in size. It's priced at $8,770 USD, and this is pre-love. You can see it's pretty slim, especially on the top, and it does have some protective feet on the bottom. I believe the Bolide 25 right now, if you get it brand new, it's around $6,850 after the recent price increase in February 2023 if you get it from the boutique store. Here's another pre-love Bolide, priced at $5,502 for the 31 size. And you can see again on the model is a little bit more slouchy for this one. And then last but not least, I want to show you this one is a vintage Bolide 37, priced at $4,860. So when I'm looking at this bag, I feel this is not a shape that Hermes owns, and there are a lot of handbag options out there besides purchasing from Hermes, especially when you're not in the budget for a Hermes handbag. And that includes the Louis Vuitton Alma. I think when I first saw the Bolide, the first thing I thought of was that this looks exactly like an Alma. And I know there's always a debate over which came first. Was it the Louis Vuitton Alma or was it the Bolide from Hermes? I do believe that the Hermes Bolide did come out first in 1923, whereas the Alma came out a little bit later, but I don't think this is a terribly original design for this dome luggage shape. I'm sure it was probably became more popular because of both of these brand fashion luxury houses. I'm sure that this is like a shape that has been around for a little bit and has been reproduced by many fashion houses. So at the end of the day, like, who really cares? It's good. It's a simple, beautiful shape bag. So let's talk about the difference between Hermes Bolide versus the Alma BB or the Alma PM and see which is worth it more. So let's start off looking at Alma BB. So you can see already there is a big difference in terms of price. It's currently priced at $2,430 for the Alma BB, as you can see here. Another difference you'll notice between this and the Bolide bag is that it has two zippers. So it's easier for you to access, whereas the Bolide, I believe, only has the one. And then here, the Alma PM is currently priced at $2,650. Again, this is in the canvas version. The leather version is going to be a little bit more expensive, as you can see. For the epi leather for Alma PM, it's around $3,250. I believe the Alma shape bag from Louis Vuitton came out around 1925. It was a special order for Coco Chanel, so it was released 2 years after the Bolide was released in 1923. It is a little bit different in shape, I would say, compared to the Bolide. Like, not just the general silhouette, I just mean that the Alma is a little bit wider on the top and looks a little bit more square off. Whereas the Bolide is a little bit different in terms of, it looks a bit slimmer for the Bolide, I would say. It looks very sleek, you can see on the top there. But in general, the shapes are pretty similar. So, like I mentioned, besides a slight difference in terms of a more square off shape for the Alma from Louis Vuitton, the difference in terms of 2 zippers instead of 1, and also the price difference that you know between the two. There are just a lot of similarities between these two handbags. Do you prefer the slimmer profile for Bolide, or do you prefer a little bit more square off shape that you see from the Alma from Louis Vuitton? And also, I just think that it has a much better affordable price tag, at least for the canvas version, but the leather version is not bad either. And also for Louis Vuitton, the Alma is just a lot easier to get a hold of. Like, you can place it in your cart compared to the Hermes Bolide. Another difference you would notice is that for the Louis Vuitton Alma, the handles can actually lay flat, which is nice when you're using it as a crossbody, as you can see here. Whereas the Hermes Bolide, it just stays up, which might be in the way depending on your height and how you wear the bag. I do find that the Bolide bag is a little bit more fancier, whereas the Alma, I find, is a little bit more casual, more carefree, but both are just great classics. Of course, there's also the Coach Rebel that was released in the last year, I believe. That is also a great option to consider if you like this dome shape, something that looks very elegant, classy, just exudes kind of like a really feminine feel. However, one downside I would see for the Rebel is that it's a little bit on the heavier side, so that's one thing I would watch out for. So at the end of the day, is the Bolide worth it? Well, I certainly don't think it's as exclusive as the Kelly or Birkin. And if I had a choice, I'll probably save up for a Kelly if I could. But I do find the Bolide to be like very understated, very chic. But at the end of the day, I think it depends on two main factors. Number one is, what is your style? And number two, what is your budget? And depending on how you plan on wearing it. Certainly, I think that the Alma looks great as a crossbody, as you can see here. But I think the Bolide looks a lot nicer as a top handle option if that's how you intend on wearing it. I find that the Alma is a little bit more kind of for someone younger, exploring the personal style, definitely something a bit more affordable. I also heard that the new Alma Mini is coming up with a detachable, like adjustable strap, so I'm watching out for that coming out from Louis Vuitton. But that aside, I must say that the Bolide, I think it's fit for someone who is a little bit more mature, defined style, definitely more luxe leather, because we know that Hermes has really great craftsmanship and has higher standards and will have definitely great quality to speak of. At the end of the day, both bags are fabulous and like great classics in their own rights. I don't think you can go wrong with either one. So from here, I'd love to hear from you. Are you a fan of the Bolide from Hermes? Would you consider adding this to your handbag collection? Or would you rather pick up the Alma from Louis Vuitton? Or possibly the Rebel from Coach? I'd love to hear from you. So that's it for the video for today. Thank you so much for joining me on another mommy review, and I'll see you next time. Take care and stay safe, everyone. Bye for now.